Success Radio USA's Profiles of Success is brought to you in part by the 365 Grand Club, Colorado Springs' only elite urban downtown club. Don't like having to park downtown? Don't like paying full price for great dining? Hate working out in crowded gyms? Use your 365 Grand Club card and forget all of that. Enjoy the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by visiting www.365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Go there today and join the club, the 365 Grand Club. And now let's join your hosts of Profiles of Success, Chuck Bader and Jerry Evans.
Welcome to Profiles of Success. I'm your host, Chuck Bader, along with, welcome back.
Welcome back. Is that my new nickname?
Can't be this weekend.
Yeah, I have been missing in action, so to speak. This is Jerry Evans, and we're certainly glad to have you here on Profiles of Success on Success Radio USA.
Alrighty, so you got something for our listeners down there.
Well, of course, I want to always thank everybody for joining us here on Profiles of Success, and you can find us by going to our Facebook page at Success Radio USA, or by going to our website at successradio.us. And we'd like to invite you to register with us there for free. I love that four-letter word, that
yes,
free.
Good F word.
And you will get a free ebook download as our gift to you. Now that you are one of those who take success seriously, you can subscribe to Success Radio USA for only a few dollars a month and have total access to our show's archives on demand and our Success Library of ebooks, which are also free to members.
Free, all the time. We love that one.
Yep, we certainly do. Okay, there you have it. And it's good to actually be back. I actually went out to Florida, so I got a chance to visit some friends, and it was just a wonderful time. But it's good to be back.
Well, yes, it's good to have you back here. So.
Yeah, you had to talk by yourself, right?
I did, yes. It was a bit of a challenge, but, we lose the energy.
A challenge to talk about?
Well, to keep the energy up, yes. Otherwise, it's just kind of like kind of flat.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So we have an amazing guest on this week who was referred, see, this is sales, right? Referred by our guest from last week, Eric Owings, an accountant. This is Bob Landry, and he is a fantastic success coach. He's going to have more information than we can squeeze in one show. Bob, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Glad to be here. That was quite a build-up. I hope I live up to that.
Well, from what I've seen on your website, from what Eric said about you, easy stuff.
I pay him well.
So I got to know, are you a Dallas Cowboy fan, and are you related to Tom Landry?
Well, I probably started life out as a Dallas Cowboys fan. Born in Texas originally, migrated here as a young guy, and kind of adopted the Broncos. But definitely
good
a Tom
man.
Landry
See,
fan.
he knows.
For sure.
He knows. Yeah.
No relations I'm aware of, but definitely a Tom Landry fan.
Yeah, he was an outstanding coach, a wonderful human being.
No question.
Okay.
Yeah. So you kind of led off to how we start this. Well, we'd like to hear about what city you were born in, what year you were born in, and what did your parents do for a living?
So I was born in the great city of San Antonio, Tejas, 1966. Yeah.
There we go.
66 was a good year for me, as it turned out. Military brat. My dad was stationed there at Randolph Air Force Base. It turns out he went back there every time to have a kid. So I was the youngest, and
wow.
Each time my parents revisited, it must have been something in the water, apparently.
Apparently, yes.
But, started life there. 3 years in San Antonio, moved to Wiesbaden, Germany, again, military brat, and then settled here in, 1972 is when we moved to Colorado Springs. So I grew up here.
Okay, nice. We're familiar with that. So
yeah. Know a little bit about being here in Colorado Springs, that's for sure.
So your mom, I assume, was a household executive at that time.
She was definitely a household executive, took care of my dad, and she had a full-time job.
Now, what is the true definition of that? I'm not quite sure.
Well, just like a chief financial executive or chief executive officer, you've got to run the scheduling, the budgeting, the coordination, everything. It is an executive position.
Commander-in-chief of home operations.
Exactly, yes, and it is. People don't realize how important that is.
Hey, that's a serious job, too.
Really
Mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. She was the ideal military spouse.
Happy wife, happy life, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You bet.
And what did your dad do in the military? What level of enlisted or officer?
Well, he was enlisted, but he had a very colorful career. I'm extremely proud of my dad. I'll have to make sure I don't take too much time up because I can start bragging.
Well,
he was a central turret machine gunner on B-29s in the Korean War.
Wow.
And so that was, he joined that whole thing in 1951. The Korean War, of course, ended in 52. He was recruited into this new newfangled career field called computers.
Wow.
Yeah, so honestly, they had this thing they called a computer. They had no flipping idea what to do with it.
Yeah.
So they commissioned my dad, and Captain recruited him at the time. He was a young, staff sergeant or something like that, to figure out how the heck to integrate computers into military operations. So his career extremely very colorful. I could throw out some acronyms that military folks who use some of the systems would recognize. But when he retired in 1979 rather, he ran the computer center at Peterson Air Force Base, and he basically he and his team designed the first global satellite network. It was so classified back then. Nobody knew about it. I didn't get to find out about the finer things about that until the late 90s when it was declassified and he could start talking about it. But
20
very
years.
Impressive career as an enlisted man to have the level of responsibility he did.
Was he the first person to send an email?
Well, yeah, he might have been the first person after Al invented the
Al Gore.
Al Gore, that's right. Invented the internet. My dad sent the first email. That's exactly right.
We now see the chronology here.
Yeah. Okay.
So dad probably ended up with an associate's degree, all told. Never really focused on it. Wasn't as pushed back then.
Right.
But he was able to accomplish some pretty great things. Ended up reporting directly to a 3-star general and spun up the first global satellite network. So then he got out and got into insurance.
Hey, my kind of guy.
Oh, man.
Did very well. He was the number 2 agent with American Family Insurance in Colorado Springs until he retired. Yeah.
Your dad is now Chuck's new best friend.
Yes, exactly.
Well, he's hailing from heaven now. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry,
but
yeah.
Great example for you, though.
I appreciate that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and this is why we talk about this, because, like in my situation, I didn't grow up with a dad who was quite that impressive. He was a truck driver, loved the heck out of the guy, showed unconditional love, but it didn't give me the tools that I needed to achieve what I'm achieving. Versus in your case, your dad is really looking for opportunities. He was believing in himself. Yeah. Apparently, he never said no to anything, and he figured out a way to make that happen. What a great example for you. This is why we bring this up on the Heritage.
Absolutely. So. I got to tell you, my dad instilled in me values of success. Like,
boom.
I just never realized what he was doing to me, or should I say for me, back in the day.
Right.
I just remember he always used positive language with me. He never said anything in terms of, well, just try, maybe you'll get it. He's like, you work hard enough and your attitude's right, you get whatever you want out of life.
Love that.
And then the affirmatory language that he would use with me.
Yes.
I remember one time I was waiting, doing a job he commissioned me to do, go clean an office or something. Because I did odd jobs. I did pretty much anything.
Okay.
And being a typical high school screw up at the time, I don't feel like it. And then, of course, Dad, being very clever and wise, had a message passed to me through my mother. Mom said, well, your dad told me that you always end up doing the right thing and just to trust you. But sometimes I wonder. And that was all it took. I'm like, well, of course I'm not going to let Dad down. I remember my first duty assignment overseas, dating myself. Of course, I already did that, but what the heck? He used to send me cassette series like Zig Ziglar.
I was going to ask you about that.
Earl Nightingale.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I lived in England.
Man.
Significant drive.
See, this stuff works.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It programmed this stuff in my head that my limitations only exist in my head.
Yes.
I'm only held back by, my level of thinking. My attitude determines my altitude. Zig Ziglar quotes, it just inhaled and absorbed that stuff, and I was dumb enough to believe it, I guess.
Right.
No, not dumb enough. Smart enough.
Sarcasm intended.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely
that's
smart
what we talk about, is that passing on the legacies and doing those kind of things, and it makes a difference, I mean, imagine if you listen to that and nothing changed. It's like, then I'd be kind of doubting it, but you're just one more person who proves how well that works.
It does work. It does work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So an exciting legacy, and very grateful for my dad and that amazing gift that he gave me, and I try my best to instill that in my kiddos, and that's still evolving.
Now, how's it going with your kids to give them the, whatever MP3s would they have now for them?
They haven't been quite as receptive. There's too many distractions. But
you're probably the same way when you think about it,
we didn't have a whole lot of distractions back then. When I had a 30-minute drive to work in Holland, I had nothing to do. The radio was in a foreign language, so I plugged in my cassettes and listened. Kids nowadays, oh gosh, it might sound like I'm dating kids nowadays.
Young whippersnappers.
They've got so many different distractions. So getting my kids to a point where they'll settle down and just watch videos or cassettes or MP3s has been a challenge.
But you listen to them in the car,
Absolutely. Well, it's a traveling university.
Exactly right.
I teach my coaching clients that. I try to get my kids to buy off on that. But
right. So were you the one stationed in Holland, or was that your dad and you were the only one?
I was stationed in Holland, yeah.
Okay. That must have been a Dutch treat, right?
It was a Dutch treat. It's exactly
Here comes the rim shot.
Oh, there you go. There it
Boy, I missed that last week. I don't think I had any last week.
That's why I'm here, okay, to provide the dumb jokes, okay?
I love it.
Oh, and now we're doing this fancy thing. Now technology, right? Eric Owings, who was our guest last week that referred Bob, is out there. Shout out to Eric.
Hey, Eric, how you
making
doing?
this happen. You're famous.
Sorry I wasn't here.
Now time to go for a run.
He's a running fool. That's right. Maybe not the fool, but he's definitely a runner.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, a lot of great tips on that about eating right and exercising and as far as achievements. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're obviously in great shape as well, so you're picking up on that. So.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you. I try hard.
Well, it makes a difference, right? We'll talk about that in the next segment about how important that is.
It definitely does.
You know, what you put inside that mouth and how you work that body as far as how the brain is going to perform, you know?
Body, mind, spirit, all three levels. What you feed it is what you get back out of it.
Exactly.
My goodness, this guy is an excellent with all the quotes. I mean, it's incredible, you know. You've got everything, a little bit of the insight that we're looking for as far as somebody profiling their own success. It's great. I like it.
Well, I appreciate that, sir.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Well, that's why I was so thrilled when Eric talked about that last week. It's like, and then I read up on Bob and went to his website. It's like, whoa, this guy's living it, you know. This is one of the stellar, perfect guests you could ever put on a show like this.
Yeah, we might even have him back at a later date.
I hope so, because I know we're not going to get through nearly as much as we need to here.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Well, I appreciate that. I feel blessed that I'm in a position in life where I'm able to start giving back to like coaching clients and people who are paying for my services, of course, but very receptive to learn how to move up to the next level and limiting or eliminating those self-limiting beliefs.
Exactly. And that's huge. Well, speaking about no beliefs, I'm going to believe that you're a listener out there with a job to do, and I believe you got a piece of paper and you got a pen. Hold it up there, Jerry. Yes, sirree. And you're going to hear the sponsors and you can write down their name, write down their phone number, write down their website, and when you need their services, you call them. We'll be right back on Profiles of Success. I'm your host, Chuck Bader, with Jerry Evans and our special guest, Bob Landry.
It gives clarity to problem solving. It increases production and focus on the job. It alleviates sleepless and restless nights and fends off stress and tension headaches. No, it's not the latest energy drink or health supplement. It's Legal Shield. Get peace of mind every day, every night, now and forever. Legal Shield. Get it.
To find out more about Legal Shield and how it can protect your family and your business, call Andrea at area code 719-243-3174. That's area code 719-243-3174. Legal Shield. Success Radio USA is always looking for ways to help you succeed. Whether it's offering a word of encouragement or sharing practical information that can give you the competitive edge. So you'll want to pay close attention to this. Our new sponsor, the 365 Grand Club, can give you the edge when conducting business in downtown Colorado Springs. You might want to entertain a potential client or just show appreciation to a loyal business partner. Either way, your new 365 Grand Club card is your passport to downtown Colorado Springs. Your club card gives you access to discounts, business perks, making new business connections, and the convenient private concierge service that makes getting around town hassle-free. Enjoy the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by visiting www.365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Get yours this week and join the club, the 365 Grand Club. Listening to Success Radio USA at successradio.us. Success Radio USA is committed to helping you achieve a positive daily approach to your success each and every day. Thank you for listening.
Success Radio USA.
Welcome back to Profile Profiles of Success. I'm your host, Chuck Bader, along with
Jerry Evans, and it's great to be here. We are having a fantastic time on today's program. That's all I have to say.
And
I got more to say here.
Well, you do got more to say. Yes, I won't interrupt. I won't step on you again.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyway, we want to thank all of you for joining us here on Profiles of Success. Remember, you can find us by going to our Facebook page at Success Radio USA, or by going to our website at successradio.us. We would invite you to register with us there for free.
Free.
And you will get a free ebook download as our gift to you. Now that you are one of those who take success seriously, you can subscribe to Success Radio USA for only a few dollars a month. How many dollars?
$3.99, which is less than $1 a week.
That's exactly right.
Man, if you're not willing to invest that much in yourself, I know that Bob is a lot more than that for coaching. So, come on.
Okay.
$4.
So anyway, and you can get into our show's archives on demand and our Success Library of ebooks, which are also free to members.
Hey, that's more like it. And we're also joined by several guests this week. We see Brian Hall's. This is like Romper Room. If you grew up in my area in Colorado Springs, you had Romper Room. He said, this is for real. I can see Brian Hall is watching. I can see Tracy Arthur is watching. I can see Eric Owens, who is skipping a run to hear this show. Good move, Eric. Very good move.
Yeah.
That's impressive. You're getting Eric to skip a run. That's saying something.
Well, it's
Big
not
time runner, huh? Okay.
Don't have
Way to
Bob
go,
Landry
Eric.
on the show. So how old were you when you started listening to Zig Ziglar, and who else did you listen to? What are some of your favorite authors?
So it was really hard to pin a high schooler down. So a little bit of reading, some listening back in high school. But certainly when I joined the Air Force, Dad decided to start loading me up with the cassettes. And again, I was in places overseas where I didn't have a lot else to do while driving and things. So 19 years old is really when I started plugging in. I was around an amazing success, positive-minded, no limits thinking father. And that was, that just, of course, I just absorbed that.
Right.
But as far as myself digging in, reading, and listening, that really started when I was 19.
So what authors have you listened to since then, and how often do you read and listen to Success Materials?
Every single day.
Boom, right? You never outgrow this stuff, right?
Every single day. Affirmations, gratitude, positive reading, prayer meditation. That's the formula for success every single day of my life. I read all the great authors, of course, Zig Ziglar, Earl Nightingale, Tom Ferry, my boss, the Tom Ferry organization based out of Irvine, California. He's got a great book called Life by Design, which is profound, of course.
You got to get that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean Acor, a gentleman I got to hear a couple times. You're familiar with
Happiness
him.
Advantage.
Phenomenal. Got to meet him a couple times in Vegas, heard him speak. Wow. So Before Happiness, Happiness Advantage, those are foundational books.
Yes.
Dr. Carol Dweck, Mindset. Oh, man, there's just so many amazing artists. Or, I shouldn't say artists, but I should. They are,
right.
Yeah, they really are.
It's not a science as
much as it is. Leaders. Yeah,
Yes.
how to think well.
Yes.
Yeah,
how about Tony Robbins?
Of course.
Yeah,
my
Tony,
God.
right?
Love Tony Robbins. Love him. I don't think, if you weren't going to listen, have a chance to hear or listen to anybody else in the thought leader, Tony Robbins probably encapsulates more the culmination of all the greats.
Yes.
He studied them. Many of you know his story, but when he was a kid, this tape shop, he would go and rent tape after tape
Night
after
education.
tape and just absorb this stuff. And he was so addicted to it.
Yes.
And I think he espouses all the greats. And to watch him cut through people's negative pathologies and psychologies. Maybe you saw the Netflix series this most recent.
I'm not your guru.
Yeah, that one. This lady stands up, and I can't remember what she led off with, but Tony, just like he saw with, he just saw ready. It was your blankety blank and just dug right into it.
Yes.
So yeah, he's phenomenal.
Oh, I love the guy. Just amazing. And it's funny because, like you said, you hear about the famous author, or some of the famous, Dean Graziosi, John Astor. It's like, I got to speak with Tony Robbins. That's how big Tony Robbins is, right?
Exactly.
30 years, 130 countries, 8 million people, something like that. I mean, just mind-blowing results with this guy.
Phenomenal. What's
Chilling
really
with
cool,
Oprah Winfrey.
Exactly. I got to give props to my boss on the coaching side, but my boss, Tom Ferry, actually grew up with Tony in his household.
No way.
Mike Ferry, his dad, he personally knew Zig Ziglar, personally knows Tom.
My
Tony,
gosh.
I mean, he got to hang out with all the greats. So when you hear him speak, you're almost hearing just the same kinds of messages and the same kinds of greatness come through. So it's an incredible.
Well, we're noticing that it's kind of rubbed off on you as well, because you seem to be speaking in that same type of style.
You can't help it rub. What a great thing to have rub off on you, though.
Yes, exactly.
The whole notion that if you can get the heck out of your own way, there's really no limits.
Yep.
And people put up these mental blocks, and they restrict and constrict themselves from greatness because they think that they have limitations. And to help them, and that's the biggest thing as a coach, to help them peel back the lid on what they have and what they are capable of.
Right.
We use limiting beliefs, limiting thoughts, and we tell ourselves things, well, I can't. When it comes, I coach for interviews and veterans with, job seeking veterans post service. And that's the thing I try to help them as well. When you go in for the job interview, well, if you've had a couple bad success, bad job interviews, does that mean you're a bad interviewer, or are you going to use language that is you're going to defeat yourself in the future when it comes to more interviews? Or are you going to say things like, well, I see what I did wrong there. I need to refine that. And that's called what? Growth mindset. Thank you, Dr. Carol Dweck, for that.
Right.
As opposed to a fixed mindset, which means I've tried that, wasn't good, not going to do it again.
Right.
Growth mindset means you keep pushing, you keep trying, and you keep working on your limited beliefs and break out.
Well, we always go back to Thomas Edison on his discovery of the light bulb with the exact same process. 10,000 tries before you finally find the right combination.
That's exactly right. 10,000 failures, by the way.
And they weren't failures, they were lessons learned is what he said.
That's exactly right. It's not a failure till you quit.
That's exactly
it's
right.
It's not a failure till you quit.
Yes.
And you see, we look at something like that. How many people have that type of tenacity and resilience now?
Right.
They typically are and I'm going to pick on our younger generation, but they're not all like this, but it's more and more a trend with the younger generation. And we can get into Dr. Carol Dweck's teachings to understand why that is. But, we teach our kids, everybody's a winner, everyone gets a trophy. Well, life is not that way. Right. And we tell them how smart they are. And Dr. Dweck would tell you that if we tell a kid how smart they are consistently, we're hurting them. And the reason we're hurting them is we have to teach them that their efforts result in success. You're not just naturally, and you might be naturally gifted or smart, but you need to teach and instill in your kids that because of your efforts, because you tried, because you kept trying, you can achieve great things. But if you convince a kid that you're smart, well, the first time they realize they're not really good at something, then they're going to use CAT, is what Dr. Dweck would say, creative avoidance technique. And they're going to do everything in their power to never be seen trying that thing again. And this is where I'm getting back to Thomas Edison. People who have a fixed mindset, who have been brought up that way, which is so common, it's scary how common it is, they will never press through points of failure to where they get to success. Because as soon as they taste something that hurt, it didn't feel right, they were embarrassed, done with that, they won't raise their hand in class and ask a question because they don't want to be embarrassed being the kid that didn't know what was going on.
Can I share like a personal story? I work at the post office, and I've been a trainer there for many, many, many years. I've trained probably over 300 people on how to do the job and whatnot. I remember when I first started out, I was absolutely miserable at the job. I was terrible at it. I'm never going to get this. But through perseverance, through hard work, through, just my mind getting into a positive frame and looking at it and saying, okay, this really isn't rocket science. This is something that I really have to just achieve, and the only way I'm going to do it is I've got to pursue it, and I've got to use creative thinking and doing that whole gambit, if you want to call it that. Then, as I became a trainer, I found that a lot of other people have decided, hey, I can't do this. I'm too dumb. I'm just not able to do this. But you keep hammering on them. You keep telling them, no, this is going to actually work. But you don't tell them that they're great. But you tell them you're going to achieve this type of success. And I think that's where you're earmarking a lot of this, and that. I find that to be something that a lot of people have on a personal level.
Absolutely. And we've tried to train people towards success in very flawed methodologies in the past. We've taught them, well, you just decide to do it, have a great attitude, and go do it. You can't decide to have a great attitude any more than you can decide you're going to speak Spanish or Swahili. You got to work at it. You got to train your subconscious brain. That is the foundational piece that we've missed out on, is learning how to train that very part of ourselves that is literally the driver. Your reticular activating system.
Boom,
we get into some of the science.
There it is.
Whatever you have trained your brain to notice the most of, to believe, whatever reality it believes exists, it finds a path to that reality in ways that the conscious mind can't even fathom.
Wow.
And you start programming that so that's how you start getting rid of your limited beliefs. You can't decide, I'm now going to have a great attitude. I'm no longer going to have limiting beliefs. I'm going to, walk into a room and see the positive opportunities instead of being negative. You can't just make that decision because we've got a lifetime of training, of cognitive programming. So we start doing things like, and Sean teaches this, Dr. Dweck teaches this, Tony Robbins teaches this, Zig Ziglar taught this, affirmations. You start
yes.
programming your brain with, I love being a fill in the blank. I enjoy having a fill in the blank.
In the present, in the positive.
As if you've already got it.
Yep.
Emotionally, mentally, you're already there when you're writing it out. And Tony would say, stand up and say it, verbalize it, get excited about it, be there.
Yeah.
If you want to make $1 million this year, and by the way, if I tell somebody you're ready to make $1 million, and the instant monkey brain reaction is, ooh, well then no, you can't. You're right, you can until you believe you can.
Yep.
But you start removing those limiting beliefs by feeling what it's like to already have that. What is it? At the end of the year, you made $1 million. How did that feel?
Right. Yes.
Instead of, it's going to be really good to make $1 million. Well, that's no more positive than buying a lottery ticket.
Right.
So, and then the gratitude, when you're writing your gratitudes out, you write things you're consistently grateful for. You change it up every day. You write things that you're excited about in your life and happy, because then you're training that reticular activating system. It sounds like you probably talked about that in this show.
Yes. We talk a lot about neuroscience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you're training your brain what to focus on. And then guess what? It focuses on more of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
You could be at a stoplight and annoyed that the person, or driving down the road, you're annoyed at the car in front of you for going too slow, or in the same reality, different mindset. I'm grateful that I get an amazing car to drive in. I'm not late. I've got good music and the air conditioner works.
Exactly. And
sometimes mine hasn't.
But it's huge to have the right mindset. Like you said, what are you going to focus on? We talk about it all the time. Choices, yes.
Mindset's a choice.
Yes, it is. But it becomes a rewiring at some point. You know?
Exactly.
So.
I know we've only got a little bit of time left in this particular segment,
right.
But Dr. Dweck talks about how when you I lost my train of thought on that. I'll get back to it, but she basically talks about how that's right, the energy quadrants. You are by choice in any one of any 4 energy quadrants. And it doesn't sound like we got time before we go to the next commercial, but maybe we'll get into that.
Well, we can elaborate on it when we get back.
Yeah,
I'm curious about that now.
People in combat, you get the special operators, the special ops guys.
Hold it right there, okay, because we want to get into that, okay?
So take us home, Jerry, take us home.
Put on hold.
I tell you, this is really enlightening.
I know it's going to be good.
It's phenomenal to hear about all the things that you're talking about. So we're going to elaborate a little bit more on that when we get back. So right now, everybody take out those pens and papers. Make sure you get those web addresses written down, phone numbers, whatever you want to call it, okay? We want to have you contacting our sponsors. That's what it's all about. We'll be back after this.
Success Radio USA is always looking for ways to help you succeed. Whether it's offering a word of encouragement or sharing practical information that can give you the competitive edge. So you'll want to pay close attention to this. Our new sponsor, the 365 Grand Club, can give you the edge when conducting business in downtown Colorado Springs. You might want to entertain a potential client or just show appreciation to a loyal business partner. Either way, your new 365 Grand Club card is your passport to downtown Colorado Springs. Your club card gives you access to discounts, business perks, making new business connections, and the convenient private concierge service that makes getting around town hassle-free. Enjoy the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by visiting www.365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Get yours this week and join the club, the 365 Grand Club.
Hello, I'm Chuck Bader.
And this is Jerry Evans.
And you're invited to join us on Profiles of Success, where we feature stories of successful businesses and successful individuals.
You can find us on TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, or Stitcher by searching Success Radio USA. Or go to our website at successradio.us.
Our current program is available every day, 2 p.m. Mountain Time, Monday through Friday. We air new programs on every Monday. These are programs which are designed to guide you along your path of success, to provide you with the information, the inspiration, and the motivation to achieve your goals. Right here on Profiles of Success on Success Radio USA.
Listening to Success Radio USA at successradio.us. Success Radio USA is committed to helping you achieve a positive daily approach to your success each and every day. Thank you for listening.
Success Radio USA.
Welcome back to Profiles of Success. I'm your host, Chuck Bader, along with
Jerry Evans. Great to have each and every one of you here, and thank you for joining us here on Profiles of Success. You can find us by going to our Facebook page at Success Radio USA or by going to our website at successradio.us. We would invite you to register with us there for free.
Love that. Free. Like big
that?
F word.
Yeah, that's right. And you will get a free ebook download as our gift to you. Now that you are one of those who take success seriously, you can subscribe to Success Radio USA for only a few dollars a month and have total access to our show's archives on demand and our Success Library of ebooks, which are also free to members. Folks, get signed up for that. I think it's a great idea, it's a great value, and you can be tuned in with all the things that are going on with Success Radio.
And my brilliant marketing mind just came up with a great tagline. When you're ready, we're there for you.
Really?
Right, you like that? Hey,
oh, wow.
We're going to go with that, Tim. Tim's shaking his head. Yes, okay.
Okay, great
I'll get a nickel for that one, okay.
Yeah.
We also want to welcome Greg Sheldon back to the show here. Greg was also a guest, as long as Eric was as well. Tracy's going to be. Brian was a guest. All our guests are listening, so that's a good thing. But let's talk about the debunking of metaphysics and talk about the reality of neuroscience.
Absolutely.
So you're talking about the RAS system and also law of attraction. Here's two big topics on the market today, right?
Absolutely. And I love to bring up what one of the great philosophers of the 20th century, some are going to be surprised I say this, but Albert Einstein. He posited one of the greatest questions ever. Is the world a friendly place? And he would tell you that if you say that yes, it is, then you're right. And if you think that it's not, then, well, you're also right.
Okay.
And he began to explain through physics and science and energy, because it's not just this mystical thing that some people put in the category of what the hippies did in the 70s. This is science. It is science-based. We are all energetic beings. We put out energy, we attract energy. And that which we put out, we also draw back to us. You put out positive, you get positive back. You focus on negative, you get negative back. You focus on positive, there you go. And Einstein said that. Actually, he had a world of leading physicists and scientists. He asked them to come up with one major question that he would ask. And, of course, they couldn't agree. So on the very day he showed up, they asked him, sir, what would you ask? And that's the famous question he came back with, is the world a friendly place? And you can imagine the look of stun and disbelief on these brainiacs' faces as he asked that question. But then in his most insanely intelligent way, he began to explain through physics and science why. That's absolutely true. And then we see that. We look at people who have come from disadvantaged backgrounds where they shouldn't have been able to have success, and they have achieved amazing things. And we've seen the exact opposite. People who've come from very privileged backgrounds, who had every reason, every excuse to have great success, who've accomplished nothing. So why does that happen?
Right.
Attitude and focus.
Right.
And the energy they put out, the expectations they put into the world, it absolutely comes back to them.
And just to give a very quick example, Susie Orman, actually somebody who had a positive attitude back at the time. I
love Susie Orman.
Yeah, she's working as a waitress in the Buttermilk Cafe or something like that. But because she has a positive attitude, very friendly, people liked her. This businessman had offered to fund her in some kind of a startup. So, yeah, that's the law of attraction.
Right.
And it's simply just being a heck of a nice person. It's not that hard.
It's amazing how happy people get lucky. They get lucky all the time, man. You know, people who go to Vegas and they I always win. I always win. I've got a sister-in-law I always win because she expects it and she does. Makes everybody else mad.
Right.
That's my brother-in-law. He can go up to anywhere in one of those gambling halls and he just and then about a couple of polls later, well, I just won $160 or something like that.
Yeah. And the rest of us can look back at the side and go, "Oh, he just got lucky."
Right.
In fact, if you got a really crappy mindset, you just get angry at those people.
Yeah.
You pull up at a stoplight next to a dear old lady who's got a smile on her face. You're looking around. What is she smiling about? If you're in a bad mood, it makes you mad.
Exactly. Yes.
But obviously, she's got a hold of something you don't.
And something we talked about during the break was the real connection between the reticular activating system versus attitude and law of attraction, going back to your veterans networking event.
That's
Somebody walks in, sees a negative, they're going to be negative. How many people are going to walk up and talk to this guy and offer him a job or some help,
That's exactly right. Somebody who has a positive mindset orientation, whose RAS has been trained to notice and expect the positive things, is going to walk into a room full of people, even if it's hot, even if it's crowded, and they're not going to focus on that. They're going to walk in and go, look at all these amazing people I get a chance to meet, and they're literally going to be excited to go up to as many as they can, because they know with certainty every one of those people is like a Christmas present. You open it up and there's a whole lifetime of experiences and connections. And did we just drop? Or is that just my...
No, I think just back a little bit.
Experiences and connections and things that they know, people they know, and opportunities they've had.
Yes.
And then know that you also have things for them.
Yes.
Where you've got the other person with a negative mindset orientation walks into the exact same room, the exact same opportunities are there, but they don't look at it that way. Mm-hmm. And I've challenged my veterans, because I teach through Prep Connect 360. We teach at Mount Carmel Center of Excellence and at the Pikes Peak Workforce Center. And I teach the mindset class, as it happens. And, I challenge them like that. Because when I talk, it's on a Friday, and at Red Leg Brewing Thursday night. Yeah. They have the big network event.
Todd Baldwin rocks.
Right. Yeah, great organization, great establishment. And they open themselves up to the veterans and really help them serve in that community. So, but the night before, I said, how many of you walked in? It was a little annoying last night, a little hot. And I said, honestly, don't raise your hand, because I'm going to call you out here in a second. But every one of them is half the class roughly is going to feel that, that was a long night. It was hot. It was annoying. And then there's others in that same room that thought that was amazing. Yes. I talked to this one person and he knew this one guy and he had a cousin in this business. And, I'm actually going to talk to him and have coffee during the week, and opportunities just blossom out of that because they expected that they would.
And you also bring up another good point about law of attraction, success, and how that stuff works, is that you don't know who other people know. So you walk up to somebody, it's like, who does this person know? And I've been shocked in my life to just meet somebody who would think is, just kind of average, for lack of a better term. Right. And yet they're connected to some very influential people that have helped open a lot of doors for me.
That is exactly
so you're right.
And when you expect it.
Right.
I love using this example because I've always worked, since I retired, I've worked with veteran employment, helping vets get jobs and things.
And thank you for doing that, by the way.
Yes, thank you very much.
I appreciate that. I remember dropping my wife off at Bonefish Grill several years ago. And we always sit at the bar. Not because we're alkies, but because that's where people sit.
Right.
And we get to talk to folks.
Yes.
We always sit at the bar. So I dropped her off. It was crowded, and she goes in and finds a bar stool, and there's one next to her, and she's holding that one empty. By the time I parked and came inside, this gentleman was leaning across the stool that she had saved for me and talking to her. So me being gregarious and obnoxious, hey, what are you doing? Hit on my lady. We had a great conversation with that guy that lasted 3 hours.
Wow.
And it turned out he desperately needed qualified people that were drug-free, that knew how to show up for work on time, because he installed all the backbone for the government buildings, the county buildings and things, for the Cat 5s and things like that.
Right.
And I took him back to Tim Amter, shout out to the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, and connected him with Tim. Tim interviewed him, and we got 10 different veterans within the next few months jobs because I opened my mouth and talked to a guy at a bar.
One conversation when you're off duty, so to speak.
Right. But that's kind of how I live my life. And again, I don't want to make anybody think I'm perfect. I'm awesome. I have an open mind and I expect good things.
Exactly.
I just expect those positive things to come.
I had that. You're probably not familiar with this, but I've been the race announcer now for the Pikes Peak Marathon for the last 22 years, coming up on my 23rd year coming up. But one of the things that happened with that and how it just kind of all fell into my lap was simply I had gone out and helped out the year before I became the race announcer, and all they did was they said, okay, now this guy's positive, he's having fun, he's having a good time, he's creating an image out here that everybody is really enjoying. Somebody noticed that. All right. So they contact somebody, says, hey, we're looking for somebody new. Boom, it happened.
Yeah.
And it came completely out of left field. I never had an idea that they were really paying that close of attention, and that's exactly what happened.
This just in. People enjoy hanging out with positive people more than they enjoy hanging out with negative people.
See there, Chuck, I told you that.
Is that true?
I told you that.
People, they have self-fulfilling prophecies. Nobody likes me, nobody wants to hang around with me, and they just walk around grumpy in a bad mood, and they expect negative things to happen, and they wonder why they don't get invited to the parties.
Mm-hmm. And Zig would say about somebody like that, they're the kind of person that could lighten up a room as soon as they leave.
As soon as they leave. And when we're talking about energy, and I often say this when I teach, everyone in the room has had the experience of having their back to a door and someone walks in, you don't hear or see, but you feel it. And there's a lot, and again, I'm not getting mystical on you,
right.
but this is physics and science.
Right.
Some people are more dialed in than others, but you literally feel that person that's uber negative that walks into a room, you feel it's like a black hole sucking you into the,
Right.
And the exact opposite applies as well.
Exactly.
Somebody who has a great spirit, a great lighthearted, energetic, fun, they walk in, you feel it. Mm-hmm. You carry that with you and you attract or repel.
Oh, yeah. And it is.
Do you find that most of the veterans, when you do talk with them, most of them are on that positive vein, or are there a lot of? Is it like half and half?
I find it. I don't know. I want to put it on a split like that. It certainly depends on them.
Right,
Some of our heroes are coming out broken and scarred and damaged.
Right. Yeah.
And we certainly work with them lovingly and encourage things like meditation and reading and positive and affirmations, and those definitely help. But no, there's not a one size fits all.
Yeah.
Not by any stretch. But I was going to talk about that because before the last break, when it comes to the quadrants of Carol Dweck says you by choice you get to pick which energy quadrant you live in, whichever one you're in. High negative, high positive, low negative, low positive. A combat veteran would tell you, a special operations guy. And I know a lot of Green Beret, guys that have served in combat, and the Green Beret folks and those, they would tell you that you are trained to react. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You're trained to calmly react in any given scenario. Some of them get cocky about it. They're literally like any other scenario. Some of us would be curled up and wetting our pants, curled up in a ball. Oh my gosh. And they're literally calm, smooth, bullet zipping by them, and they're lining up on their target.
Right.
But they have trained themselves to react from the energy quadrant that best serves them.
Right.
We think in our reptilian brain that we have to react. And I'm a Western American male. I'm full of testosterone. If somebody cuts me off, well, I have no choice. I have to honk the horn, flip them off, and cut them off or cuss at them or something like that. But what if we did have a choice? And how would that feel? What if we just let them? That person may be having a terrible day and feel badly for them. Bless them on their way. What would that be like?
Well, go back to Tony Robbins. The night that Tony Robbins' mom kicked him out of his house, age 17, Christmas Eve of all times. Right. The first thing he said he thought about was back to a Jim Rohn seminar, and he said the first thought that came in his mind is the quality of your life is not determined by what happens to you by reacting. Yep. It's what you choose to do with what happens to you by responding.
Viktor Frankl.
So, yeah, exactly. Yes, Man's Search for Meaning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you haven't read Viktor Frankl, you need to read Viktor Frankl.
Yeah, you think you got life tough.
Wow. His whole family murdered by Nazi concentration camps. He himself being tortured, and came across one of the most profound revelations that I have absolute control over one thing no one can ever take from me.
And after we get back, exactly, we'll talk about Stephen Covey's take on that as well.
Absolutely.
So get those pens and papers out there, Jerry. Take us to the break. Take us to the break, buddy.
Oh, I was going to let you do this.
I'm making you work today. You were gone last week. You got to make it for last.
Man, this is hard work. Anyway, pull out those notepads and those pens and everything like that, and also make sure that you get down the web addresses, the phone numbers, Chuck's phone number.
Yay! We're going to get Greg's when we get back to it.
That's right. We're going to give all that, okay? Yes. But anyway, we're going to take this time out, and we'll be right back.
Yep.
Success Radio USA is always looking for ways to help you succeed. Whether it's offering a word of encouragement or sharing practical information that can give you the competitive edge. So you'll want to pay close attention to this. Our new sponsor, the 365 Grand Club, can give you the edge when conducting business in downtown Colorado Springs. You might want to entertain a potential client or just show appreciation to a loyal business partner. Either way, your new 365 Grand Club Card is your passport to downtown Colorado Springs. Your club card gives you access to discounts, business perks, making new business connections, and the convenient private concierge service that makes getting around town hassle-free. Enjoy the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by visiting www.365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Get yours this week and join the club, the 365 Grand Club.
Is your business on Facebook? Are you frustrated with how your website performs? Do you have a focused and measurable marketing plan? Are you struggling in executing your marketing plan? Well, tune in every Tuesday to the Mad Marketing Show and learn from the people who are actually making it happen. The internet is a convoluted and busy place. Learn how to cut through the noise with the Mad Marketing Show. New episodes air every Tuesday on Success Radio USA at successradio.us. Find us on Facebook Facebook at Mad Crane Marketing and post your digital marketing questions. You can find us on SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, and iTunes by searching for Success Radio USA or The Mad Marketing Show. You can also visit us on the web at madcrane.com to learn more.
This week, my name is Harley Mitchell. Next week, I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll use your name. You see, I'm a cyber criminal, and I steal information that defines who you are. Things like your driver's license number, your birth date, your home address, your office address, your social security number, your medical information, insurance cards, business licenses, and if I can get it, your birth certificate. If I can get one, I can get the rest. It's not personal. It's just business. Once I have your information, I bundle it with others and I sell it. Not just once, but over and over and over and over and over.
Due to recent massive data breaches, your personal information is now available for cyber criminals like Harley to buy and sell to their underworld counterparts for profit. Bad people with bad intentions hiding behind your identity. Don't be fooled and lock down your financial life. Use the professionals that Fortune 500 companies use, ID Shield and Legal Shield. It costs less and reaches further. Don't lock down your life. Call Andrea Wacker and get the right protection for the right problem. Andrea Wacker is your Lady of Justice. Call now at 719-243-3174. That's 719-243-3174.
Hey, this is Megan, Cindy, and Sammy, and we are the Success Radio USA singers. Thank you for listening to Success Radio USA. Success Radio USA.
Welcome back to Profiles of Success. I'm your host, Chuck Bader.
And I'm Jerry Evans. Always a pleasure to have each and every one of you tuning in, for Profiles of Success. You can find us by going to our Facebook page at Success Radio USA or by going to our website at successradio.us. We would invite you to register with us there for free, and you will get a free ebook download as our gift to you. Now that you are one of those who take success seriously, like Chuck Bader
and Bob Landry.
Wonderful. Yes,
Jerry
Bob
Evans.
Landry, Jerry Evans, yeah, anybody. Anyway, you can subscribe to Success Radio USA for only a few dollars a month and have total access to our show's archives on demand and our Success library of ebooks, which are also free to members.
And
$4, $3.99.
$3.99, yeah, less than $1 a week.
Yeah.
And we just had a new guest join us today, Aaron Lieber of Brick Release Property Solutions.
Hi, Aaron. How you doing?
Your property managed properly.
Oh, very good.
I'm going to get a free breakfast tomorrow for that. Networking meeting. Yay.
You owe me breakfast, by the way.
So what you do want to do is that if you're listening to this show, not just Eric and Tracy and all those guys, but I mean, if you're not tuning in here, but you're listening, you're about to make one of the biggest mistakes of your life. And this is what happens all the time, right? This book will change your life. This seminar will change your life. Blah, 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 blah. Not unless you act on it. So what we have to do is have Bob give his phone number and his website. And you, as the listener of all the things you've written down today, you need to write down Bob's phone number and his website. And you need to call the man for a coaching session. I've listened to success stuff that Bob has for 20 years, and I've learned 3 new things today. And I mean, wow. So you need to call this man. What number are they going to call you at, and what website?
I have to say TomFerry.com.
TomFerry.com.
Everything has to go through the corporate headquarters. They actually will interview, if you're interested in coaching, and we only do real estate professionals, by the way. Okay. But if you're interested in coaching, you go to the Tom Ferry organization. The success rep will interview, talk to you, determine your personality fit, your style, where you are, how you want to do business, and align you with the best possible coach. That's one thing I love about what I do is I don't personally go out and solicit coaching clients. Can someone come up to me and say, hey, I'd love to have you as a coach? Sure, but I still put them into the system. And they can request me by name, certainly. But we want people to go through the system so that they're lined up with the right coach. We have phenomenal coaches. The vetting process to become a coach with the Tom Ferry organization is extensive.
Wow.
I think when I went through my class, I've been doing this for almost a year now, there was 120 applicants. About 40 of us went to a 2-day class in Irvine. About 20 of us were invited to go to boot camp camp, and after several weeks of that, I think 10 of us were actually hired.
Wow. So it's very strict.
It's a very strict vetting process. Tom wants to make sure we got people that actually give a darn. You know what I mean? They're people that really love and care. I run a very successful real estate business. My wife and I do. But I wanted a chance to give back because that's where my heart is. And when I can get into the proverbial trenches with folks and help make a difference in their lives where they can again, eliminate these limiting beliefs and move the ball down the field, to use the sports analogies, and start accomplishing what they really want. Deeply, deeply fulfilling. And again, props to the boss, Tom. He has really got a lock on. He's been doing this for 3 decades. And he has coached so many people from obscurity to become great, and not just become millionaires. Probably some billionaires out there. But he has coached them to have an amazing life balance. It's not just about how much money can you make. It's not that, kill your prey, drag it home mentality, sales school. It's more, have an amazing flipping life. Have a life you could be proud of. Build a legacy. Like my dad did for me. You're not just going to make money and then have terrible relationships. You're going to have great relationships, not just with your family, your kids, your spouse, your significant other, with your clients, and have beautiful symmetry and elegance in your life.
Exactly.
That's what we're about.
So how about a phone number in the website on top of that?
You're going to catch me off guard on the phone number thing. Go to tomferry.com.
There we go. That's easy enough.
Tomferry.com.
And how do you spell that?
TOMFERRY.com.
Just like the boat you ride.
TOMferry.com.
Wow.
Yep.
But the phone number is listed there, right?
The phone number, all the contact is super easy. In fact, he's got a show. He gives it for free every week. It's called the Tom Ferry Show, as it were. And that is super easy.
Innovative.
It's super innovative. And it's well received. And Tom's all about giving back, so it's free service. It's provided every single week. He puts out a Tom Ferry Show on how to help real estate professionals move the ball.
And so Bob Landry would be, when you go to tomferry.com, you can request Bob Landry if you want to.
You certainly could.
To try to be one of your coaches on that.
You certainly could.
So
absolutely.
Fantastic.
Is there any specific, people or successes that you could highlight for us? I mean, without giving out names.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, there's so many.
The big Santa Claus.
Well, here's the thing. Tom holds these major events all across the country every year. Success Summit, which is coming up in near Irvine, California in August. 6,000 or 7,000 real estate professionals from all over the world. Stories that would blow your socks off. The Tom Ferry Show this week, we had 2 younger real estate agents, people who had only been in the business about 5 years, and were already closing like 100 plus, 125 transactions a year.
Wow. Man.
Because they plugged into coaching, they had an open mind, they got rid of limiting beliefs, and were stupid enough, being sarcastic of course, to believe they could accomplish amazing things, and they just did what they were not told, because we coach people to work a business with
think on their feet, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Of course, we've got a lot of proven techniques and principles, and there's certain things you can do that will. There's a statistical evidence to show that there's a high degree of success when you do these things. But we coach people to do their business the way it makes sense for them.
Right.
But we've had people get up on stage who literally could not pay their bills. Their houses were being foreclosed on. The cars are being repossessed. Their relationships are on the rocks. And a year, 2 years down the road, they own their own home. They bought their parents a home. Their relationships are great. And it is so rewarding to watch that. It's so amazing and so inspiring. And these aren't made up people. These are people I personally have met. Yes. Genuine stories. In my personal coaching clients, I've seen people start, and I get coaching clients who have had, they're wildly busy. But they're hit a ceiling because of how busy they are. And helping them organize their business, hire an assistant, maybe hire some agents and things like that to start having life balance and moving their business to the next level.
Right.
And their limiting belief was, I'm working as hard as I am. I'm working 7 days a week, as hard as I can, rather. I'm working 7 days a week. I don't have any bandwidth to do anything more. I can't handle this. I love my income. I hate my business. I hate my life. And moving into a place where they're making more money, have more life. They booked a vacation. I got an amazing client in North Carolina, and he booked his first flipping vacation when I first started coaching him.
Nice.
And when I said that, his eyes almost rolled in the back of his head. He's like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. I hire a coach to tell me I'm going to take more time out of my schedule to do something. I made him book that vacation.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you don't book it, it's not going to happen. If you book it, you make it happen.
Well, let's go and highlight that as well, because one thing that I love that Mary Kay Ash said of Mary Kay Cosmetics was that it's not where you start, and that's where people get hung up, but it's where you finish. So we give quick examples. Fair Gray, 9-year African-American kid on the bad side of Chicago tracks, 9 years old, millionaire by the time he's 12. Right. Homeless woman, Danny Johnson, who is now multimillionaire in Texas. Mary Kay Ash, who was divorced and lost her husband, international fame. Tony Robbins grew up in a bad childhood. It's not who you are. It's not what you came from. This is one of the big things that we harp on the show. Don't give me excuses about I didn't come from the right lineage. Don't do that. Pick it up today. Start fresh today. Use the past as simply data. Weed out the bad stuff. Keep the good stuff. But then take the limits off, like you said. Take the blinders off and start thinking differently about what's possible out there, because you see that all the time. 6,000 people. That's what we're talking about in the show.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
You are only limited by what you let yourself be limited by. It's that stinking simple.
Absolutely
Nick Vujicic, I forget how you spell his last name, right? The guy was born with no arms, no legs, one of the world's best motivational speakers. So don't tell me that, I can't do it because.
That's right. And I wish, and I feel terrible, because the lady that was in the Gazette a few weeks ago who had no legs, she lost her legs and she climbed the stinking incline.
She climbed the legs.
A lady that used to work for me is good friends with her. She's actually setting up a meeting. I can't wait to meet her.
She climbed it with her hands?
With her hands.
Oh, my gosh.
You want to talk about
they had it on the local news, on television news, and you see her actually moving up the Manitou incline.
We got people that have perfectly healthy bodies that would never climb the incline. Oh, it's too hard. Whatever excuse they would throw out there. And we have people who say, I don't care what you throw at me. I'm going to do what I'm set here to do. Exactly. I'm going to do wherever my passions lead me, and I am sure not going to let any stinking excuse get in the way.
Now, I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second. This is something I thought about years ago. So imagine all of a sudden you hear this news story, right? This person was blind their whole life. Now all of a sudden they have vision. Now, if all of a sudden you found out a year later that person is watching pornography, things that are bad, how would you feel about that person? When you say, my gosh, why give that person the gift of vision? They're just going to blow it. Well, how about you? Right, you have it. So why don't you use that better? Or somebody who just got hearing and they're hearing these rap songs that are talking about killing and negative things like that. You have a choice. This is what we talked about the whole show. You have a choice,
Yeah, absolutely. So, and when it comes to that type of stuff, by the way, whatever you focus the most on, you get the most of.
Right.
And again, this stuff, when I teach the class, I want to focus. Our entertainment is negative. It's dark. We watch. I'm not going to pick on any specific TV shows, but we all know the dark ones. There's some really dark theme, murder, butcher, all the horrible things going on. And then we only tune into all the negative dark news.
Yeah.
And then we think miraculously we're going to have a great attitude and we can do great things. That's not psychology. It doesn't line up with anything the way the human mind works. If you think that's possible, you're fooling yourself.
Right.
And I'm not I'm not a judgmental guy. I'm not going to judge you for watching whatever that show you like to watch, the movies you like to watch. But if the only thing you're focusing on, the news, your entertainment, whatever you do to play is all negative, it's not possible. Your subconscious brain is being trained. The reality it believes is out there is a negative one, and that's the life that's going to manifest.
Exactly. And everything is a reference file. Everything you do is a reference file. So if all you're watching is negative, and you're trying to pull out something positive, you don't have any positive to reference from. It's not going to pull from anywhere unless you're listening to the Ziglers and the Robbins and everybody else.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
And the Baders.
This is not hard stuff. Eventually, but this is not hard stuff, Yeah. It's pretty basic. So.
And you can have your guilty indulgence, watch your dark show, but you got to have some offsetting things.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You've got to have some, read the positive books, and people, I can't have time for read. Give me a flipping break. You got time to vegetate and scratch yourself on the couch. You got time for 15 minutes in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
To sit and read a positive book that'll change your life and do the affirmations, do the gratitudes, and start hanging around with people that have success and good attitudes.
Yeah.
If the people you're hanging around with are crappy and bad attitudes and you think miraculously you're going to have a good one, that doesn't work either.
Exactly. It's not hard stuff.
Change your associations, maybe.
Yeah. Well, one thing the homeless person on the street corner and Bill Gates has in common, the exact same number of hours in a day. Oh, hey,
there you
what
go.
about that?
That's exactly right.
You do.
How about that? Yeah.
Yes, it's what you do with them that makes the difference, right?
Yeah.
Well, darn it, we're down to our last minute here, but we're definitely going to have you back on. Give out the website one more time.
TomFerry.com. TomFerry.com.
And you're going to be asking for Bob Landry as a coach.
Right. You betcha.
That's exactly right.
Well,
Bob,
yeah, we definitely want to have you back on the show again if you don't mind.
I'd love that.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure. I mean, you just gave us so much insight and some, a lot of accredited information that we can use and we can pass along to everybody. That's what this show's all about. So you were definitely a great profile of success.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's helped me well in my real estate career, too. Again, I came from relatively nothing and built a great real estate business. And, we enjoy great success from that, too. But I was dumb enough just to believe I didn't have limits and did it.
And
there's that sarcasm again.
There's that sarcasm.
That's where Farrah Gray did. 9 years old, Farrah Gray didn't know any better. So he believed it, and boom, look what he's accomplished. Billionaire now, right?
That's right.
Yeah, really. It's amazing.
Exactly right.
We want to encourage all you guys out there, take what you listened to today, call, or go onto the website anyway, and register with TomFerry.com. Get a hold of Bob, get him as a coach so you can start really applying this stuff in your life.
Absolutely.
But we want to encourage you that there's plenty of free stuff out there. You've got Facebook, you've got the Small Business Development Center, the SCORE office, you got Veterans Networking Groups if you're a veteran, the Public Library, which everybody overlooks. That's where Stallone got his start, one of his starts.
They still have books there.
I know it's kind of weird, but they're shrinking. But yes, they have books there. But you need to make sure that you're proactive and that every single day, no matter what you're doing, you've got to find something and do anything to keep moving forward.
You have been listening to Profiles of Success on Success Radio USA with Chuck Bader and Jerry Evans, brought to you in part by the 365 Grand Club, Colorado Springs' only elite urban downtown club. So start enjoying the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today at 365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. God bless you all and see you next week on Profiles of Success.